At the Chamber breakfast, you talked about how the city is landlocked and it really has no room to grow its tax base. And that's why you announced last summer that you were looking to buy up some land from the town to site off Ruger Street to move the Municipal Lighting Department's maintenance facility from its current site along the Saranac River to that location. You were hopeful that could move along quickly, but the town wants to hold public hearings and really vet this proposal more. What's the timetable for that now?
Well, we don't know. As you know, we've owned about 190 acres adjoining the city for quite some time. It's the former compost plant. Yeah. And we added 40 more acres to that to move the MLD out there. The lighting division has to be moved because of all the DRI activity and our desire to upgrade the waterfront. We'd let the town know that we're wanting to do this well in advance, obviously, of buying any property there. But after we bought the property and expressed to them the desire to annex it, because ironically enough, we wouldn't be able to bring city electricity to the new electricity plant without it being part of the city. So we obviously looked into the legalities of it. There's 3 different ways to annex property, something that's been discussed in the city for generations with that property. One is to simply sit down and collaborate with the town and say, hey, listen, this is in our interest, this is in your interest, how can we do this together? And that's part of the general municipal law that allows us to have that collaboration. Well, that collaboration fails, so the next step is for the town to have a more formal process for this with the hearings you were discussing, et cetera. And the third alternative, and these are kind of varying degrees of cumbersomeness, is to take a legal tack with it. So we're kind of in that middle ground right now. We're hoping to do it collaboratively, but it looks like they'll be delayed somewhat as we go through some hearings and that kind of stuff. And hopefully we can resolve it there.
You're hoping it doesn't end up that you have to take the legal action?
I was hoping we could collaborate, actually. I really see a lot of value in just sitting down and working things out in ways that, as an economist, we don't know how to think in any other way but win-win. How could we do something that's good for everybody concerned? And I really believed that we can do that with this annexation issue, but with all the various issues that our region is dealing with.
Another area you and the town supervisor, Michael Cashman, have been at odds is over the payments for the former Falcon Seaboard power plant. The city sued over the payments it believes it's due. The town countered sued, and where now after a year does that stand?
It's being delayed at every step, unfortunately. And again, I think we can just sit in a room and figure out what to do with Falcon Seaboard and figure out what to do with annexation, figure out how we can collaborate in many other ways. But we'll do what we need to do, but I think that the route it's going and the delays is really probably the worst outcome for everybody.
And with these 2 disputes, does this really hurt relations between the city and the town?
I don't think so. I think, to me, this is business. We're trying to figure out ways for the city to add to its tax base without, no pun intended, taxing the town for it. Pragmatic business people just sit down and say, how can we rearrange things differently so it's good for both parties? So I think that we're going to get there. I'd rather get there by discussion and negotiations rather than by judges imposing things on us. But the legal system is also designed that if people can't come up with solutions together, then the legal system is designed to resolve disputes for us. So I don't even think they need to be disputes. They should really be viewed as collaborations. But we'll deal with them. We have to ultimately solve that dilemma that you led with. How does the city expand its property tax base so it can actually see a sustainable future? As you know, our property tax base is sliding because we've got 5 square miles of land. We've had 5 square miles of land for 100 years, and there's no way to increase that tax base.
What, 40% of the property isn't on the books?
About 35% of our property in that 5 square miles is exempted from taxes. So we have really 2/3 of the properties in the city of Plattsburgh paying for a lot of the aspects that benefit an entire region. The Strand Theater is an exempt property. All the things the city does with the Mayor's Cup and Battle of Plattsburgh and all the festivals, etc., is done for the entire region. The hospital, the university, our great churches, etc. All these aspects of our downtown are being essentially paid for by a very small population, but benefiting an entire region. We need to look at things at a much more regional basis and recognize these as regional assets and not just city responsibilities.